Dear friends, up till now we have seen Fourier transform, its properties, results related to Fourier transform when given sequence is discrete and real in nature. Now some of the results related to complex sequence. What happens to Fourier transform when given sequence is complex one having real and imaginary part? So how to find Fourier transform of real part of the sequence, how to find Fourier transform of imaginary part of the time domain sequence. Then like real sequence we are having even and odd terminologies. Here in complex sequence the terminology is conjugate symmetric sequence and conjugate antisymmetric sequence. Conjugate symmetric sequence corresponds to even sequence in real signal, and conjugate antisymmetric sequence corresponds to odd sequence in case of real signal. So in case of a complex signal we have to think of four parts: real part, imaginary part of complex sequence, and conjugate symmetric part and conjugate antisymmetric part of the complex sequence. In general, whenever we are studying any transform, the given signal is considered as complex signal when it is not mentioned. So up till now, whatever three videos you have seen, in all these three videos many times I told that given signal is a real signal, that it means imaginary part of that signal is 0. Now here we are having a signal which is a complex signal or complex sequence. So what properties Fourier transform or what result Fourier transform gives when sequence is x of n is a complex sequence? So what happens to real part of the sequence, Fourier transform of real part of the sequence? What happens to Fourier transform of imaginary part of the sequence? We are going to get four results out of these four sequences, and these results are very useful when we apply this to the real life problems or some research problems. So let us consider that the given sequence is a given sequence x of n is complex sequence. So let x of n is a complex sequence. So since it is a complex sequence, it has both the part, imaginary part and real part. So x of n is equal to, it has real part, we denote that real part x by x r n, and imaginary part we denote by x I n. So let us take r, capital R, and since I have taken capital I, so x of n is a sequence which is a complex sequence. So it has real part and it has imaginary part. So if you want to find real part of sequence, we know that how to find real part when it is a complex number. So x r n can be obtained by adding x star n in x of n and divided by 2. So this is a given sequence, complex sequence. If I add conjugate of the x of n plus its conjugate divided by 2 always gives me real part of the sequence, just take x r n plus j I n here and then see. So we can get, or you can say, let us consider that let z is equal to a plus jb, then real part of this z is a plus jb plus a minus jb. This is x of n and conjugate of x of n divided by 2. So it is a. So real part can be obtained by adding complex conjugate of given sequence divided by 2, and imaginary part, again in case of this z, imaginary part can be obtained by subtracting this z star from z and divided by 2j. Let us consider z equal to a plus jb, then minus a minus jb. If we take this is a get cancelled, divided by 2j, so it gives me b. So b is the imaginary part of this complex variable z. So similarly, imaginary part of sequence x of n, imaginary part of sequence x of n can be written as xin is equal to imaginary part of x of n, complex sequence x of n, can be obtained by subtracting its conjugate from given sequence divided by 2j. So this is the real part of x of n, and this is imaginary part of the signal or sequence x of n. Now we know that in case of real sequence, we know that there is even and odd part correspond to those parts. In complex sequence we are having conjugate symmetric part and conjugate antisymmetric part. So conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric part, how to find, what is the formula for finding those parts? So XCS, this is like even part of real sequence. In case sequence is complex, so I am saying conjugate symmetric part, okay, which is equal to x of n. What we do when we find even part, we add x of minus n. Since sequence is complex, the change is here only x star of minus n. So this gives the even part of complex sequence, which is called as conjugate symmetric part. Then we are having odd part or antisymmetric part of real sequence. Corresponding to that, here we are having conjugate CA. This C represents conjugate antisymmetric. So conjugate antisymmetric is a part of a complex sequence which can be obtained by subtracting its conjugate and divided by 2. So this gives me conjugate antisymmetric part of complex sequence. After having all these 4 formulas with us, we will see that what is their Fourier transform. If we are subtracting, so here it is minus x star and x of minus n. So we are subtracting conjugate and symmetric, okay, x star of minus. If there is minus n, then it is only symmetric, that is for real case. But if the sequence is complex, we need to take conjugate and symmetric, so that is why it is called conjugate symmetric. If conjugate symmetric part, that is why it is called x star minus n. So it is flipping as well as conjugation, and after subtracting this from x of n and divided by 2, whatever we get, that we are saying it is a conjugate symmetric part. After having all these formulas with us, we will see what properties their Fourier transform satisfies. Before going to the properties that Fourier transform is going to satisfy, here I would like to tell you that what is the Fourier transform of complex sequence and what is its real part and what is its odd part. Okay, let us write again Fourier transform. Here I am taking the given sequence is complex sequence. So the Fourier, while writing the Fourier transform, directly I am decomposing the given sequence. I am writing given sequence in terms of real part and imaginary part. So multiplied by e to the power minus j omega n. Here I would like to write its real part and I would like to write its imaginary part separately. So we need to put value of e to the power minus j omega n in terms of cos and sine, then multiply, and after multiplication you will be getting real and imaginary part of Fourier transform of complex sequence. So let us do that. So summation over n x r n, here x r n multiplied by e to the power minus j omega n, that is cos omega n minus j times sin omega n, plus again here same summation x I imaginary part x I n multiplied by cos omega n minus j times sin omega n, same thing but only factor j is additional. So what we can do is, see, real part x r cos, this is real part, and here also we are getting one real part, j multiplied by j, it is minus 1, so plus. So the real part, if you want to write separately, x r n cos omega n plus j into j minus 1 plus, so x I n sin omega n. So Fourier transform or real part of the Fourier transform is like this. This is real part. Real part of the Fourier transform, you can say, plus here part which is multiple of j, here it is j is there, so x r n minus sin omega n, and here x I n cos omega n. So if I take j common, so x I n into so x I n into sin omega n. So this is, let us say, minus, plus again multiple of j x r n multiplied by sin omega n. So part which is multiple of j, sorry, here it is cos omega n. So this is imaginary part of Fourier transform x of e to the power j omega. So this is imaginary part and this is real part. So here xr cos omega n plus x I n sin omega n, here also minus xi sin omega n minus xi sin omega n, here xr multiplied by minus xr multiplied by minus again sin omega n, that there again there is minus sign there also, right, minus j sin omega n x r n, so minus j sin omega n x r n, here again in the second part j times x I n into cos omega n, this is I think plus. So in this way we can write imaginary part and real part of complex sequence, Fourier transform complex sequence. Now let us see what is the Fourier transform of x star n. So if x of n has Fourier transform x e to the power j omega, then let us say yn is equal to x star n. So this is Fourier transform. What is y e to the power j omega? Because this x star n is required in computation of a real part of the sequence x of n and imaginary part of x of n. So what is the Fourier transform of x star n? So y e to the power j omega is equal to summation yn e to the power minus j omega n. So let us put the value of that yn. So it is x of n star e to the power minus j omega n, and it is over n. So here we can take this conjugation outside, and it becomes x of n e to the power j omega n whole star. Now you look at the thing in the bracket. The thing in the bracket is nothing but x e to the power minus j omega star of that. So y e to the power j omega, okay, y e to the power j omega will be conjugate symmetric part of the Fourier transform of x of n. So see, x of n has Fourier transform x e to the power j omega. If I make the conjugation of that transform, conjugation of the sequence in time domain, x of n is conjugated, then what happens to its Fourier transform? The Fourier transform becomes conjugate symmetric part of the earlier Fourier transform. Look at this, is very interesting. X of n Fourier transform is x e to the power j omega, then x of n star conjugate of x of n. The Fourier transform is not only getting conjugated, also it is getting flipped. So x of minus omega star we can also say like that. Okay, now again one more term which is required, that is Fourier transform of x star of minus n. That is also there in case of conjugate symmetric and conjugate antisymmetric part. While finding those parts, we need Fourier transform of x star of minus n. So x star of minus n so the Fourier transform, let us say again this is y of n. So what is the Fourier transform of this? So let us find the Fourier transform of x star of minus n. If Fourier transform of x of n is known to you, that is x of e to the power j omega, then what will be the Fourier transform of x star of minus n? So let us find this y e to the power j omega. So y e to the power j omega is equal to summation x star of minus n e to the power minus j omega n over n. So here first of all what you do is take the star outside. If I take star outside, so it will become x of minus n e to the power plus j omega n and star of this. So star is taken out, x of minus n multiplied by e to the power j omega n. Now replace n by minus n. So you get x of n e to the power minus j omega n. Since summation was over minus infinity to plus infinity, it will remain as it is. So it will be x of n e to the power minus j omega n entire star. So if you observe this, it will be x star e to the power j omega. So in time domain, signal is changed from x of n to x star minus n. In frequency domain, the Fourier transform becomes x star e to the power j omega. Here there are two changes in time domain, star and minus. Flipping, minus means flipping of the signal, star means conjugation. And in frequency domain, in time domain there are these two operations. In frequency domain there is only one operation which is taking place on the Fourier transform, that is conjugate of Fourier transform. The signal is, if signal is flipped and conjugated in time domain, in Fourier domain, Fourier transform gets conjugated. So this is also required while finding this conjugate symmetric part and conjugate antisymmetric part, Fourier transform of those two parts. We need the Fourier transform of x star of minus n, and this x star n is required for finding real and imaginary part. So let us write once again real part of the Fourier transform. X r n is equal to x of n plus x star of n divided by 2. So we want to find Fourier transform of real part of the signal. Fourier transform of real part of x of n, real part of x of n, that is Fourier transform of xrn, Fourier transform of xrn, which is equal to Fourier transform of x of n plus x star n divided by 2. So Fourier transform of real part is nothing but Fourier transform of x of n plus x star n and divided by 2. Now we are having Fourier transform of x star n at our disposal. Directly put the Fourier transform, because use linearity property, we can separate it out. 1 by 2 times Fourier transform of x of n first part plus Fourier transform of second part. So we know that it is 1 by 2. I'll take 1 by 2 common, and it will be x e to the power j omega plus x star e to the power minus j omega, which is already calculated by us. So here if you observe this RHS, so real part, Fourier transform of real part of time domain signal is equal to x e to the power j omega plus x star and e to the power minus j omega. Conjugation and flipping, both the things are happening here. So we can say that this is a conjugate symmetric part of the Fourier transform. Very important result which we got here. So Fourier transform of real part of time domain signal is equal to conjugate symmetric part of x e to the power j omega, which we can denote by xcs e to the power j omega. Here my statement will be, the result which we derived here is the Fourier transform of real part of time domain sequence is equal to conjugate symmetric part of Fourier transform. Now let us go to the imaginary part of the Fourier transform. What happens to what property the Fourier transform of imaginary part satisfied? Fourier transform of xin is equal to, we know that, which is nothing but x of n minus x star n divided by 2j. So we have to find Fourier transform of the bracket. We have Fourier transform of x of n, that is x e to the power j omega. We have Fourier transform of this. So here what we get is x e to the power j omega minus x star of e to the power minus j omega divided by 2j. So it is Fourier transform of xin, imaginary part of time domain sequence. So here if you read this, if you understand this, you will come to know that this is conjugate symmetric part. And if you look at this and definition of conjugate symmetric part, so we can say that, so this is, if we take this j apart, it will be x e to the power j omega minus x star e to the power minus j omega. It is subtracted, right? This is subtracted from this. So whatever we get, it is that 1 by 2, and j is taken separately. So 1 by 2 times that. So it will be a conjugate antisymmetric part of Fourier transform. Okay, conjugate antisymmetric part. Antisymmetric part of Fourier transform, that is, okay, j times the Fourier transform of x imaginary of n is equal to, this is j, so j times Fourier transform of imaginary part of x of n is equal to conjugate antisymmetric part of conjugate antisymmetric part of x e to the power j omega. So real part, Fourier transform of real part of time domain sequence is conjugate symmetric part, and Fourier transform of imaginary part multiplied by j corresponds to conjugate antisymmetric part of given Fourier transform, which is nothing but xCa e to the power j omega, xCa conjugate antisymmetric part of Fourier transform. Now let us find real and imaginary part is over. Now we are having conjugate symmetric part and conjugate antisymmetric part. What is corresponding Fourier transform for conjugate antisymmetric and conjugate symmetric part? Let us consider first conjugate symmetric parts. We know that this conjugate symmetric part is obtained. Conjugate symmetric part of a sequence can be obtained by adding its flip and conjugated version into the original sequence. So at our disposal we have x star minus n Fourier transform. So we can directly write the Fourier transform of conjugate symmetric part of complex sequence can be obtained by taking the Fourier transform of both the sides. So the Fourier transform of this is x e to the power j omega, and Fourier transform of second part is x star e to the power j omega divided by 2. So it is nothing but, if I take complex variable and if I add conjugate of that, we definitely get real part. So it is real part of x e to the power j omega, which is denoted by xre e to the power j omega. So if we are having conjugate symmetric part in time domain, the frequency domain, the corresponding Fourier transform is the real part of the total Fourier transform x e to the power j omega. So conjugate symmetric part, Fourier transform of conjugate symmetric part of x of n. So let us find the conjugate antisymmetric part, conjugate antisymmetric Fourier transform of conjugate antisymmetric part. Let us write what is conjugate antisymmetric part. So here it is minus conjugate antisymmetric. So the definition is like this: conjugate antisymmetric x of n minus x star of minus n. So in case of conjugate symmetric, we are having definition x of n x star of plus x star of minus n divided by 2. So here Fourier transform of x Ca of n conjugate antisymmetric part, which is equal to 1 by 2 times x e to the power j omega minus x star of e to the power j omega. There are two changes in time domain. Here in frequency domain there is only one change. So if I subtract conjugated part from the Fourier transform, or if it is a complex variable and its conjugate part is removed, its conjugate is removed, so what we get j times imaginary part. So what we are getting here is, if I say it is divided by 2, so it will be j times, what I am getting is imaginary part, okay, it is imaginary part of Fourier transform. You can say it is imaginary part of x e to the power j omega. So this is, you cancel this, so whatever we get 0 plus j times something. So j times something is the Fourier transform of j times, so we are getting imaginary part of the Fourier. The Fourier transform of conjugate antisymmetric part will be j times imaginary part of x e to the power j omega. So j times this, or you can write this like, okay, you can, if you want to remove this j, so you can say that Fourier transform of x of n minus x star of minus n divided by 2j. In that case we can say that imaginary part of x e to the power j omega, this j can be taken here also, or you can take here. So but here for this definition j is not there for conjugate antisymmetric, so j times imaginary part of x of e to the power j omega. So here we have seen the Fourier transform of conjugate symmetric, conjugate antisymmetric, real part of the sequence, imaginary part of the sequence, when the sequence given is complex sequence, and we obtain their Fourier transform. It is observed that when sequence is real sequence, sequence is complex sequence, Fourier transform of real part always corresponds to even part of the Fourier transform. Fourier transform of imaginary part of time domain signal corresponds to odd part of the Fourier transform, and just forget multiplication by j and all. Then the Fourier transform of conjugate symmetric part corresponds to Fourier transform of conjugate symmetric part corresponds to real part of the Fourier transform, and Fourier transform of conjugate symmetric parts corresponds to imaginary part of the Fourier transform. All these results are very important when we apply it to the various problems. Your results become complicated problems, and when we apply this property your result becomes simple. So this is what about a complex sequence. Let us see the nature of complex sequence, how it looks, complex signal or complex sequence. X of n is equal to 1 plus 2j minus j 1 minus 8j. So we can say this is one of the complex sequence. Here in complex sequence has every sample is complex. So 1 plus 2j, 1 is real part, 2 is imaginary part. Here real part is 0, imaginary part is minus 1. Here real part is 1, imaginary part is minus 8. So it is a complex number. Sequence of complex number is a complex sequence. So if you want to take the conjugate of this, so what will be the conjugate? J will be replaced by minus j, that is the conjugate. So 1 minus 2j, j will be replaced by minus j, means it is plus j, 1 plus 8j. So this is conjugate of the sequence, right? What is x star of minus n? Conjugate and flipping. So if I flip this, it will be 1 plus 8j. Okay, j will be at its the same location, 1 minus 2j. So this is conjugation and flipping. So this is x of n, this is x star n, this is x star of minus n. What is the real part of the Fourier transform? So you add x of n plus x star of minus n, what we get? If you add these two things, this 1 plus 1, 2, then it is 2. This is, then if you add x star and this, so star of this is plus j, and okay, j minus j, it is 0, and here again j gets cancelled. If you add, so it is again 2. So if I divide this by 2, so you get x e1. What I am saying is x real part of the time domain sequence is 1 0 1. So real part, this is 1 is real, here real part is 0. So we can similarly we can find imaginary part by using the similar formula which is there for imaginary part. Now I think we'll stop here. In the next lecture we will continue on the same Fourier transform topic. We'll see some interesting problems related to Fourier transform in the next video.